11 News reporter Aley Davis is live.
11 News reporter Aley Davis got
11 News reporter Aley Davis.
Live from the studios at Brigham Young University.
Utah is known for its hunting and shooting sports, but not everyone keeps safety in the crosshairs.
Yogis, or should I say gogis, say goats bring a different kind of zen to their practice.
If a driver were to break the law by passing a stop arm like this, the bus driver would be responsible for noting the time, location, the license plate number, and even a description of what the driver looked like in only a matter of seconds. But legislators say if they could use footage from cameras like this, their job would be a lot easier.
Adderall is a Schedule II controlled substance drug, meaning if you got caught abusing it, you could be charged with a misdemeanor, pay a fine, go to prison, or even get kicked out of school.
Tonight, protesters are gathered on South Temple to make their voice heard over the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump. It's common knowledge that sidewalks are public property, but most people don't know that if someone were to fall and get injured, the homeowner would be at fault. Authorities say the trooper was talking to a woman he pulled over on I-15 in Linden when suddenly a Suburban crashed into his patrol car. Driving past a school bus that's loading or unloading kids is illegal. In the future, doing this could have even more severe consequences because one high schooler is trying to make a difference.
I'd like to thank you guys for your time, for letting me come do this.
While 16-year-old Reed Haywood can now date and drive like his other friends, he isn't your average teenager.
I've been going to caucus meetings with my dad ever since I was little.
In fact, he's already sent a bill to Capitol Hill, and he's telling teachers in the Nebo School District all about it. Utah Representative Mike McKell challenged Reed to draft up a bill.
As I was learning to drive and getting in the required 40 hours, I noticed a lot of people were passing school buses when that red stop sign was out. And so I decided to figure out if we could better enforce that.
The bill would allow courts to use video footage captured from cameras installed on buses to help prosecute traffic violators. If a driver were to break the law by passing a stop arm like this, the bus driver would be responsible for noting the time, location, the license plate number, and even a description of what the driver looked like in only a matter of seconds. But legislators say if they could use footage from cameras like this, their job would be a lot easier.
You know, we need to be able to prosecute these people that drive past our school buses when a police officer's not present.
Jordan School District Transportation Director Herb Jensen has the data to justify the bill.
There were 1,468 motorists on one day, November the 9th, that drove past school buses with their red lights flashing. So that's kind of scary because that's where our kids are standing.
I would be devastated if one of my kids was hurt.
Reed will head to the state capitol in 2 to 3 weeks to watch the bill debated on the Senate and House floor. Until then, he encourages everyone to write their representatives to show their support.
It's really cool to be able to get involved with your community.
The bill won't cost taxpayers or the state anything. In fact, 20% of the ticket revenue will fund new cameras on school buses. And Haywood tells us that the bill will actually be on the floor this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Students popping prescription pills to help them study better may be more common than you think. In this in-depth report, we take a look at the effects of taking a stimulant without actually needing it.
So then we're going to draw oxaloacetate over here.
BYU senior Jeff Brown is preparing to take the MCAT this May before heading to medical school. It's a grind each week studying for the test.
Probably 20 to 30 hours.
But Brown wonders if that's enough, especially when he is competing against students who pop prescription pills to stay awake. Pills meant instead to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, more commonly known as ADHD.
I think it might be unfair. Like I might ask myself, could I be doing better if I was taking a psychoactive drug as well?
One former BYU Idaho student admitted to me taking the stimulant Adderall.
It was like I went into hyperdrive mode. I didn't know what time it was. I just knew that I was doing this project and I was getting it done.
She says she got the drug from her boyfriend.
He was like, hey, I have some Adderall in my bathroom. Like, do you want to take half of it?
It was his prescription.
My boyfriend could get in trouble for giving me was my first thought.
I found another student who abuses the drug.
I only take mine on test days.
This BYU student also says Adderall helps him study better. He admits taking it about 6 times a semester.
Because it helps you focus, gives you energy, kills your hunger. So if you're on campus for like a really long day and you don't have to worry about eating.
The student tells me if he wants it, he can get it.
I mean, there's always ways to get things.
I took my concerns to the BYU Health Center. Do you fear that students are fibbing their way into getting a prescription?
We worry about that a little bit, and there's been some recent concern that there may be students that perceive this as a medicine that will help improve performance regardless. And really, in many ways, that's a false notion. Looking great.
Family medicine doctor Keith Wilmore says Adderall might not even give those students the help they want.
So deep breaths in and out through your mouth. But if your brain is sleep deprived, it's not going to retain the things that you're studying very well. You're not going to be able to do as well on the test the next day or the next week as you would expect.
Wilmore also says if you don't have inattentiveness, Adderall can actually make you even more distracted since it's a stimulant.
We'll have a quiz now.
Adderall is a Schedule II controlled substance drug, meaning if you got caught abusing it, you could be charged with a misdemeanor, pay a fine, go to prison, or even get kicked out of school. BYU Public Health Director Dr. Carl Hansen used Twitter to conduct a study tracking Adderall abuse.
We noted that students were abusing it during the times that you would think they'd abuse it, and that's during final exam times and also during the middle of the week when their studies are probably a little more intense.
Hansen says about 15% of students across the country abuse the drug. Nearly 2/3 get it from their friends.
I've had probably 2 or 3 people ask me.
BYU student Kimball Hill knows what it's like to have friends approach him about his prescription.
Like, can I try some? It sounds like it's really helping you. And the other one was someone who had done it before that was just like, oh, are you in the business or whatever?
He says some people are willing to pay $25 to $30 a pill. Every time he tells them no.
It's an amphetamine, just as other drugs are, other stimulants that can become very addictive.
But for students who actually have ADHD, the drug can be very effective.
It really helped me do better in school. It's helped me through college. I can notice a huge difference when I don't take it.
Unfortunately, not everyone who takes it has a need.
And on our campus, it's an honor code thing, right? The students are encouraged to live the honor code. And if someone is taking Adderall without a prescription, that's abuse, and that would be a violation of our honor code on this campus.
Dr. Wilmore tells me there is no blood work required to be diagnosed with ADHD, only subjective written and oral exams. He says this may contribute to the problem.
Your heart towards the sky.
Last month, we told you about yoga sessions people were having with sharks swimming in tanks next to them at the Living Planet Aquarium in Draper. A couple local college students created yoga with a different twist. 11 News reporter Aley Davis got a first-hand look.
All right, welcome everybody.
BYU student Benson Richardson and UVU student Derek Westover are behind the newest form of exercise in Utah Valley. It's a combination of traditional yoga and, well, goats. They call it Goga.
When people hear goat yoga, they think goat yoga. What? Like that's crazy. That's never gonna work.
Yogis show up for a 40-minute yoga session.
Okay, and back out.
So do 7 goats. Pepsi, Dew, and Pepper like to show off during the practice. They balance on people's backs and leap from yogi to yogi. Richardson says goats enjoy the challenge of jumping on things.
Their fun, playful attitude. They say horsing around, but I think they should be saying goating around because they're a bit more playful than most animals are.
No competition here, just goats.
Richardson and Westover give their yogis fair warning at the beginning of class. Turns out goats like to nibble on long hair.
Yogis, or should I say gogis, say goats bring a different kind of zen to their practice.
There's a goat always around.
Roaming underneath you and like right next to you or eating next to you or lying on your mat.
I had to balance more.
We strapped a GoPro, well, Goat Pro, to Pepsi's back. Here's her view from down below. Sometimes the goats wander from class. Pepsi even jumped off a 4-foot ledge. What a bad goat. Westover says Goga is about more than just having a good time.
I've seen how animals can touch the lives of anyone, whether they're sick, whether they're old, whether they're even just stressed out.
Typically it's the zen they want to find, right? The peaceful zen. And here what we find is kind of a mix of animal therapy, so it provides a bit of a spirit booster.
Between mastering yoga poses and feeding on grass, it's a long day. Even the goats get tired of the play.
You have goat to be kidding me. The Goga guys have 2 sessions a week at locations all around the valley like Glen Creek Canyon and Pleasant Grove and even Y Mountain.
I'm Aley Davis.
And I'm Sydney Mercader. Welcome to 11 News at noon.
Yesterday was supposed to be a celebration for the Christian community, but after terrorists bombed 2 different churches in Egypt, it became a day of tragedy. Utah Catholics welcomed a new bishop to the Cathedral of Magdalene yesterday. The community welcomed Bishop Oscar Solis and several Catholic officials around the country. Solis is the first Filipino-American bishop ordained in the U.S. He greeted his followers in several languages, spoke of religious freedom, immigrants, and said he will focus on reaching out to minority communities. I can't believe that's still on your arm. My goodness. What was it like to be there and actually witness this disaster?
You know, it was super intense. People were screaming, people were crying, and I think the scariest part was realizing that something like this has happened on other campuses, and it could potentially happen to BYU.
Wow. Thank you so much, Madison. So, Paula Kiko, is he running for president anytime soon?
That is what was unclear.
A young mother is being called a hero for saving her newborn child in a tragic house fire. It happened in Wyoming, Illinois. While being trapped, 21-year-old Shelby Carter strapped her baby into a car seat, broke a second-floor window, and dropped her child to the ground level. Officials say the baby was found safe, but the mother died from smoke inhalation. Fire authorities say the cause of the fire is yet to be determined. When 11 News continues, an avalanche in Afghanistan has caused major destruction. Jessica, I barely made it through that cold weekend. What's in store for us this week?
Aley, it's a lot warmer today.
April 12th melts the heart of cheese lovers everywhere. Today is National Grilled Cheese Day. You can celebrate with the classic cheddar, switch it up with Swiss, or my favorites, Gouda. If you're in New York with $214 to spend, Serendipity has the most expensive grilled cheese in the country, featuring flakes of 24-karat gold. If not, nothing beats a golden classic at home.
We're already celebrating on set. We've got some grilled cheese right here.
Definitely love grilled cheese.
Great way to celebrate. Yeah, exactly. Just in time for lunch.
That's today's 11 News at noon.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website.
Thanks for joining us and have a great day.